we first looked at this property, it was a cotton field.
Brother Wright Buchanan brought his front-end loader down here and scraped us off a place to put the trailers, and a few days later we brought 2 trailers in here.
The Baptist Association, we did a survey, and they said if there's as many as 100 people was interested, they didn't have to say that they commit themselves to come here, but if they was just interested or thought it was a good thing for a church to be here, then they would, consider and be start on it.
We were members of Emmanuel Baptist Church, and I was on the associational committee that rode around on buses in different parts of the county to see where a Baptist church was needed, and determined that one was needed here and one on the east side of the county.
They sort of went house to house and asked individuals if it was a Baptist church built here, would you attend it? And a lot of folks said yes.
We were Clements Baptist Mission for a year under the watch care of Emmanuel Baptist Church, who was our mother church.
Saturday before, we actually went out in the community and invited people. We had little pamphlets we'd made up, said, "In the heart of Clements, with Clements on our heart." And we went to house and gave out invitations to come that Sunday, and was expecting a great crowd.
I just knew as many people as I'd talked to and invited, and I thought everybody else the same way. I just figured people would be sitting all over the place waiting to get in. The first Sunday morning on December the 5th. And we did. We had 35, 40 people, which was exciting.
And we had several to join that day, to be a part of it.
Brother Ray Green came. He was our pastor at the time.
I think he set a good foundation for the way the church got started.
I believe he was here about a year.
Yeah, he was.
And we began to search for a pastor. And we listened to a few, but the Lord led us to Pastor Tim.
What happened with the calling of pastor was that there was 5 names that we had worked our way down to. And if I can remember correctly, there were 6 people on the pastor search team. It was 3 from the mission and 3 from Emmanuel.
Our chairman asked us to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how we would order them if we were to call them. And all of us except one person on that committee put the 5 men in the exact order, with Tim being at the top. And the one man that didn't do it that way only had the number 1 and the number 2 switched. And he said, "I don't know either one of these men, so it's evident that it needs to be Brother Tim."
The greatest thing that can happen in the life of Clements Baptist Mission is for it to get out in this community that Jesus is in our church.
We grew rapidly. The first couple of years, the people that we saw were new Christians. We were reaching out into the community. Those people were being saved, coming on board into the church and getting committed and getting in their place and serving the Lord. So it was really exciting because we weren't getting people that were churched, but we were getting people that were lost, and that was really what we were here for.
Father, we pray today that as we've broken ground ceremonially, Father, we know that you've broken ground a long time ago, Father, in the plans of heaven. And God, you saw before the foundations of the world were ever laid that one day you'd build a building here. And one day you'd send people to carry out your work here. And one day you'd send missionaries out from this very place where work started, even to the uttermost parts of the earth.
We started to planning our first building. And we just started, and then Carpenters for Christ come and helped us on that. And we just had a real good time meeting and associating and working with other Christian groups of working.
When we first built this building, the first sanctuary and a few Sunday school rooms, we got a hold of some of the guys from Lindsay Lane Baptist Church and some of the other people that had followed the Carpenters for Christ that were in our county, and all met together here after we got the slab poured and the groundwork done. we just met here and started putting up walls and 2x4s.
Then in '97, our growth continued. We added educational spaces, then church office areas, and things of that nature.
The next phase was more Sunday school rooms, which continued on over into the east. And as we did that, we also went ahead and built our fellowship or our gymnasium.
And then in 2003, while we was meeting in the gym because we outgrew the sanctuary, we extended the other sanctuary, our old sanctuary, made it larger and moved back over to it. And then after a few years, and we started the new building. That was in 2009. And this is where we are today.
We knew that the Lord had really started a work here, and we could tell that it was going to be something that we would really be involved in and that we could work in. And this is where the Lord planted us, and hopefully we look forward to what the Lord's going to do for the next however many He tarries.
Just seeing what God has done, I can't wait to see what He's going to do.
I just really had a dream for a church on this highway. And I just prayed and prayed and prayed all the time for the Lord to open up something that would service anybody and everybody that wanted to come. We started in the trailers, and it just looked like the cotton field that was out here. They had planted cotton. That church just grew like a cotton field. It just kept growing and still growing, and I can still see this property filled up with something for the Lord.